Hey everybody, welcome back for another memory keeping plan with me. This is for the week of January 20th through the 26th, and because it was the first week of spring classes for me at my work, I decided to use a reading related kit because I do teach community college English. So this is You'll Find Me Reading from Cinderella Paper. The art is from Nella of Clip Art Kits, and I absolutely love how there is a cat reading a book, and there's also like a Dachshund in one of the boxes with like glasses on, which I think is just so cute. So I thought this was a great way to start off the spring semester. So this week we started the week in Lake Tahoe, where we had been the prior day for our celebrating our anniversary. And unfortunately, I slept really poorly that night because someone in the hotel who was in the room above us was like violently ill. I think they went on a binger or something, and he was up retching all night. It was disgusting. I could not sleep. So, and then also combined with that, this day in Tahoe, it was like really gusty. So we just went to brunch and then ended up driving home. Originally, we probably would have like done another hike this day, or at least walked around the lake on the south side, but the weather and the fact that I was so tired was just not a good combination. So we kind of cut our trip, not short, but like we just decided to go home. And then Tuesday, I didn't have classes yet, so I was just kind of doing some housekeeping, both in terms of work, but also in terms of our literal house. And then the only day I had to go to campus this week was Wednesday. So I went and met all of my new students for the semester, and it was good, but also exhausting. It's always kind of tiring getting into the first few weeks of the semester, especially with my freshman level classes, because I feel like there's always at least 10 people emailing or showing up trying to get ad codes for my class, and my class is like always full. So and there's not really anything I can do about that. I think I added one student above my cap this semester because statistically I've ended the semester in a 24-person class with like 18 students left participating. So I'm like, okay, I'll add, and I already kind of know at this point at midterm who is either going to drop or I am going to drop for not doing anything or not coming to class anymore. So anyway, but yeah, I can't add like 10 people over my cap. I can't do that. So, and I don't want to either because I don't think that's fair to me. And I do think more classes just need to be added if we're going to have consistently all of us who teach this class have like half a dozen to a dozen students every semester who are trying to add. Also, did you know, if you don't know, there are bot students now, so that's fun, especially for online classes. I don't deal with it as much because I teach fully in person, but especially at the community colleges, there are bots that are enrolling in college classes, so taking spaces from real life students who are desperately trying to fulfill their general ed requirements. That's great, right? Great. And it's like part of a financial aid scam. So that's why, excuse me, that's why, especially at the beginning of the semester, if people don't show up, and I do like this about community college because I couldn't do this when I worked at a state university, but I can drop people who don't show up, don't do anything, don't respond to my emails, because it's like, I can't even verify that you're a real human being. And this is an in-person class. So more online professors deal with that than in person, but I have got a lot of like weird emails at the beginning of each semester lately. They're all written exactly the same, and they're like asking me for an ad code for my class. And, you know, I respond to them, and usually the class is full. So I'm like, no, I don't have an ad code for you. And if you are serious about adding the class, show up to the class because this is an in-person class. But I just think it's weird that like all the emails seem to be the same. So, teaching college in the 21st century, it's a lot of fun. I don't know why I went on a whole ramble about that. I think just I need those of you who are not affiliated with higher education currently to understand the state that we are in right now. It's, you know, we're doing fine. But there's a lot of weird, unique challenges the last few years, definitely. And that's been my whole teaching career. It's just been, you know, lots of new normal type of nonsense. Anyway, I did do an extender on Monday because I had lots of things to mark. And then I only used one strip of the bottom washi. I decided to use the book pattern. I feel like this could have been like designed a little bit better to actually look like a bookshelf, but I don't design stickers or sticker kits, so what do I know? Not a lot. I have thought about getting myself a silhouette for my birthday, which is in May. I have the money for it. I'm just like, would I use it that much? I guess I'll talk with my husband about it. I also do not know where I would put it because we have like a little table cabinet for our printer, and then my husband has another one for his 3D printer. And then in our office, I'm just looking around the room right now. I don't really know where I'd put a silhouette unless I redid my bookshelf that's behind me. I don't know. We'll keep workshopping that. In the sidebar this week, I did 2 habit trackers again for Vloguary and for flossing. This was definitely where I lost my groove with Vloguary. I only uploaded 2 videos this week, but that's just because I was gone for the weekend and then classes started. So it was like, I don't really have a whole lot of time to film, edit, upload this week. But flossing, I also kind of fell off track with that. I'm seeing I only flossed like twice this week, but we picked it back up eventually. And that meals header is from an old kit. It was just in my leftovers collection. That is, of course, for my dinners for the week. And then the rest of the sidebar was just a full box. So I did go ahead and color block this week again. So I think almost every week in January, I'm just flipping through. First week was color blocked, second week was color blocked, third week was color blocked, and the fourth week was color blocked. So yeah, I color blocked all of January. And I've just really been enjoying that. I've been flipping through my 2024 planner, so I'm going to start doing flip throughs for those soon. I'll publish them for you. But I am going to count up how many weeks I color blocked versus how many weeks I didn't, because I'm just curious about the data on that. I've been inspired a lot by Kat from Peace, Love, and Plan, or Peace, Love, Plan, and Read. I have not figured out how many verbs are in her username, but we'll get there. So let's go ahead and jump into the day by day before I ramble on about something else that maybe nobody cares about. So, oh my God, I love that box in the upper corner. It's beautiful. So Monday was Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and it was also 8 months of Clover's post-medical treatment observation. So I just had this heart icon from an old kit to mark Martin Luther King Day. And then for Clover's observation, I used a little Dr. Molly from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. Then to mark that I slept horribly, this is supposed to be a headache Molly from Itty Bitty Sticker Co., but that's basically how I felt. I just felt really cruddy. We did check out of our hotel, so I used a little cabin Molly from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. I wanted to mark that it was super gusty this day, so I used a hang in there Molly from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. because I didn't have any like relevant weather stickers left at this point. And then we did go to brunch at a place called Maggie's, which is like on the 3rd or 4th floor of a hotel in, I think it's technically Nevada. Was it in State Line? I don't know. It was either in State Line, Nevada, or right next to there. So really cute place. We were like pretty lucky when we showed up that they had a table available, because right after we showed up, a bunch more people showed up in like the 11 o'clock hour, and they had to wait quite a while to get seated. But I think I got just kind of like a scramble for breakfast. It was pretty good. So I used the Linner Designs icon for that. And then I just wrote in felon in the next box because you know what happened on January 20th in America. I don't need to tell you, but that's all I have to say about it. Felon. Felon. Keep saying it. It's the truth. So that is from Beneva Creations. If you don't agree with me on that, welcome. I'm not changing my mind. I'm right. Sorry. Then I marked that we drove home and I was reunited with my kitty cats. So that's from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. I played with Clover, and then I watched Great British Bake Off, and I was just feeling really insecure this night. I think just because I was really tired, and the news was newsing, and it was not good news. Lots of executive orders that were nonsense being announced. Not a good time. I'm hoping that the microphone doesn't peak too much. I did increase the volume on the microphone, but that means anytime I like exhale or exclaim, it's gonna be staticky. So I apologize in advance for that. Anyway, Tuesday, I marked paying off one of my credit cards. So that's from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. I did a workout. That's from Wonton a Million. And then I was just double checking my lesson plans for the next day. My lesson plans on day 1 are pretty basic. I have like a syllabus. I call it a scavenger hunt activity where I don't read the syllabus to them, because who wants to hear that, honestly? I used to love it as a student, but I make them go hunting for the answers to the frequently asked questions, and then we talk about it. So I like that better. But that icon is from Bunny Bear Plans. I filmed and voiced over Plan With Me's, so that's from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. And then I had to go to the vet's office to pick up a prescription for one of my cat's prescription foods. I don't really know why I had to go pick up a physical paper in order to do this, but we needed it in order to order her food through Chewy. Because until recently, she had her prescription through our old vet, but it expired. So we needed a new one. And then I watched Last Week Tonight. Wednesday, I only marked 5 things, and I'm only going to talk about like 3.5 of them. So I marked the first day of spring classes with a backpack Molly from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. My husband and I had a phone call while I was in my office hour, and while he was at lunch. So that phone is from Corks and Corks Co. And then I was just exhausted. So that is from Beneva Creations. And then the last 2 stickers at the bottom of Wednesday are both from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. I'm not going to talk about the thing in the middle, but I did watch more Last Week Tonight at the end of the day. Thursday, my husband worked from home, so I just had a really old functional icon to mark that. I did have to mail off a bunch of HR paperwork for a job I'm going to start in the fall because I refuse to send this type of stuff through email. I don't know what is up with HR lately. I'm thinking that you can send stuff with your social security number through email, but I refuse to do it, so I sent it priority mail so it was more secure. It's crazy that that's more secure than sending it through digital means, but I refuse to do it, and I think we should all protest that. I ranted about that for another half a minute, and honestly, nobody needs to hear about that for that long. So moving on, I did a workout on Thursday, so that water bottle's from Wonton and a Million. I lesson planned for the next week, that's from Cinderella Paper, and then we watched more of The Good Place, so that Molly is from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. Moving on to Friday, my husband worked from home again, and I was doing a bunch of laundry, so I have this gigantic sticker from Wonton and a Million, but we did have space to mark laundry that big on Friday because there wasn't a lot going on. And then I was working on a cover letter for a full-time job application, so I have this cute pen Molly from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. I was editing videos to, I think, try and get back on track for Vloguary. And then we tried to go to a brewery for dinner, but their kitchen was actually closed this day for some reason. So we ended up at a Mexican restaurant, kind of as a concession that we've been to before, didn't love. We really didn't love it this day, so oh well. We're still trying to figure out where to get Mexican food. We don't go out for Mexican that much though, because my husband just kind of usually makes the stuff that we like eating, so I don't know. And then we watched more of The Good Place. So all of these stickers are from old kits, or you can't get them anymore other than that Molly from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. And Tanya did open up the character part of her shop again. So you can get a lot of her characters now if you are interested. I noticed that and have started filling my cart for my next order. Saturday was day 250 of Clover's observation. I'm just marking all the little things with her. So I have a Beneva Creations cat for that. And then I was just filming a bunch. So I have a flat lay from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. and listening to the Sticky Bun Boys podcast. So I marked that with a Leonard Designs elephant with headphones on. It is kind of a raunchy podcast, not gonna lie. It's Great British Bake Off themed, or it's a couple of contestants from them. They make it very clear it is not officially affiliated with the show, but they started it based on that, and then really they just kind of chat about whatever. So anyway, listened to that while I was filming a bunch, and then I was just feeling really down this weekend, probably just because of world events, but also because of work stress. Honestly, since this week, I have not been doing great. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to go into a ton of detail, but mentally and physically, I just have not been feeling very well. And so I'm trying to work on that and talk to who I need to talk to make sure that things are okay. But it might just be that I am not confident the world's going in the right direction. So yeah, that otter is from Leonard Designs. I watched more Great British Bake Off and played with the cats. So both of those cats at the bottom of Saturday are from Itty Bitty Sticker Co. And then I use another Molly to mark feeling down again on Sunday. I've been getting a lot of Sunday scaries with a Monday class this semester. Listened to more Sticky Bun Boys, and I wrote a card to Tanya from Itty Bitty Sticker Co., which I had meant to do so many months before because she lost her dad in October. But then more recently, she lost Molly, the cat, and so I'm I really need to write to her. And because I was feeling so down, I'm what better thing to do right now than to write to someone? So I sent her a card this day. Then I filmed some more. I did the dishes, watched more Great British Bake Off, and played with the cats. So those are all combinations of Cinderella paper or itty bitty sticker coat icons. And that is how we're going to finish out this week. So here is what is left of this kit. I'm going to go ahead and write everything in. I love that quill and ink bottle on the bottom of the sidebar. And that is everything written in, including my extender. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you all are doing well. Thanks for listening to me rant and rave all the time if you're here and you made it till the end of the video. I hope you have a good week, and I will talk to you next time. Bye!